Good morning, everybody. This is SirenSongGaming back for another adventure video on our 100 Days to the Far Territory playthrough. We last left off in a cabin inside of, right outside of Clearcut, I believe is where we're at. So, just to give you an update on where we're at, we are on day 6, so we still have some time. Originally we had talked about last video going ahead and heading over to the trapper's cabin. But since then, I did a little bit of extra research. Ew. We're gonna go. I'm hoping this doesn't stick around. Did a little bit of extra research and found that there's an additional spawn for that rifle in that cave. So I do want to go ahead and see if we can go find that today. I still think since we found the expedition parka here, we're actually in really good shape to go to Pleasant Valley. And I still want to stick to the original plan that we talked about. So we're going to go ahead and do that this morning, see how far we get, try to make this video a little bit more exciting for you. Ordinarily, if we weren't on a clock, I probably would have waited during this fog. I may learn to regret that, but that's okay. We're a little tired, but my goal would be to get back to the dam before we crash out for the night. Try to get as much as we can in one day. This is not the way we want to go. But I will say, in fog, in blizzards, if you get stuck in one, my best opinion is going to be if you know the area, find yourself a wall and hug it until something looks familiar. Otherwise, get behind something that has a good amount of shelter. And then try to keep yourself out of the wind. I thought that was a bear for a second. Got a little nervous. So for me, Mystery Lake, this set of lights runs straight through the middle. So if you can find this, you're guaranteed to find either, depending on which way you're going, either the Hydro Dam or eventually the cabin. So that Mystery Lake cabin is the best place, in my opinion, you can be. It's easy to find, things like that. One thing that's good to be cognizant of is that wolves, they do frequently patrol these set of railroad tracks. So the only caution I give you is you just keep an ear on. If you don't have a set of gaming headphones, I picked up a set. Sounds like he's below us. Yeah, we're gonna haul. We're gonna haul Butte. You would. Open. Close. Neener. Okay. So, what I would say is just keep an eye out for those wolves, and you'll get wherever you're going pretty safely. Especially blizzard situations, if you absolutely have no idea where you are, you have the ability to make a snow shelter. It can save your life. You're not going to be able to build a fire because obvious reasons, but you can get yourself in a nice area, you might be able to maintain a fire. Otherwise, if you have a tea in your pocket and you can get a fire up long enough, maybe heat that tea up and then drink it. It'll help with your warmth, but you might lose your fire right after. Because blizzards, they're a little unpredictable with the wind. So I made a comment on one of my first videos that had mentioned Siren's breed. Siren, she is a Swedish Valhound, and I know I had at least one person that went and looked to see what that was. Um, we might keep going. We're gonna keep going. Um, and I will tell you guys, they are very cute dogs. However, their temperament, um, they're a herding dog. So herding breeds are generally dogs that like to work. They need a job, or they need to be stimulated. So with Valhounds, um, the nicest way um, that I can think to describe a Valhound is, oh crap, I forgot it's foggy out. Shoot, that quickly forgot. All right, we're safe up here, so I'm just gonna see if we can sleep for an hour and pass this. Mm, it's not really any better. Okay, that's what we wanted. All right, so now we're a little bit more awake too. That kind of worked out. So Swedish Valhounds, their temperament. Nicest way to put it. Well, when they're puppies, they are angry little Tasmanian devils that run around and pull people's pant legs, and they're obnoxious. I will say. We got pretty lucky with Sai. She was pretty tame for her litter. However, I've heard other people that say that they are bitey little critters. So they like to bite everything. You have to teach them pretty early that, ow, biting hurts. Um, and biting's fine with your brothers and sisters, but not so much with people. So as adults, they still tend to keep that trait of um, being a lot like, and I've kind of coined the phrase, and it makes me laugh when I use it. They're kind of like toddlers running around on cocaine. Um, they're crazy. Um, she's being pretty calm now, but this morning, Sai had lots of things to say about everything. She was running around being a general hooligan and was pretty annoyed at everything I did. Nothing I did was good. Um, because she wanted out of her kennel. I do kennel my dogs. It's the safest place in the house for them when we're not watching them. So I do believe, kenneling is good. It also, since we do show, she does spend some time in kennels at the shows. So it's good for her to know that that's her space. It's safe for her there, things like that. Oh, I thought that was a dead wolf. It scared me. Anyway. But anyway, so I went to pull the dogs out of their kennels this morning. And yeah, I hear you. She was bouncing around, yelling, acting a fool. The one thing I ask for my dogs before they come out of their kennels is that they're laying down quietly. They don't have to be, silent, but I ask that they're not actively screaming or barking when I try to let them out. Sai decided that this morning was the morning she was going to tell me all about her problems, and was going to throw herself all over the kennel instead of actually just laying down so I could let her out. So she spent an extra couple minutes in the kennel while I tried to get her to calm down. She eventually remembered that, hey, I don't get out of here when I'm acting like this. So, oh, that was dumb. Why did I do that? Gonna twist an ankle, do-da. Finally realized that nothing happens. She doesn't get out of her kennel until she stops acting like a hooligan. Stopped acting like a hooligan, and then I was able to let her out. Hi, Bunny. Hi, Bunny. There's a lot of bunnies at this cave. So we've reached our destination, the cave. And here's hoping we find a rifle. Yes. Okay. I was really sad when I didn't when my camera was here and I didn't see the rifle. I was like, wow, this playthrough is going to suck because I'm gonna have to carry a heavy rifle. It's for giving me a heart attack, Hinterlands. I appreciate you. We're not gonna eat this right now. I'll take it, but sardines are sketchy. At 62%, this could probably still give me food poisoning.
Probably useful.
I mean, we have a lot of it, but we'll take it. Sure, it's probably useful. And this is what we came here for.
Lucky day.
Alright, it needs a little bit of love. It's at the 30% condition. On these weapons, though, unlike the sewing kits, the effectiveness of your aim, things like that, is actually directly influenced by the condition. So keeping these in top condition is actually really important. So, those of you that are familiar with the hunting rifle, but not necessarily the new variants, Savon's rifle is lighter weight. It's only 6.6 pounds. Still kind of heavy, but in terms of other rifles, apparently it does break down a bit faster though. But you can read the description there. It's a really cool looking gun. I'll be honest with you. But I like in the description that it says it's a handy tool when working the various industrial sites and power stations that dot Great Bear Island. There's a little bit of storytelling there. Makes sense why there's always one of these in the dam. I guess the assumption is that a worker potentially made it, coined it, whatever. So, epoxy and duct tape. Great. So we're gonna sleep in this cave tonight. That's the other reason I'm not too much of a hurry to leave. Do I have any firewood on me, or did I drop it all? I have a little bit. Okay. We're gonna yeet that because I need to collect a little bit of firewood. Well, that makes me feel much relieved. I was doubting myself for a second. Okay. So. I could also give you guys a laugh by trying to hunt bunnies. I'm really bad at hunting bunnies with stones. Let's try it. I'm also heavy though. Let's do a thing.
I'll lay down right here if I thought I'd ever wake up again.
Oh, Astrid. Whiny, whiny, whiny. Lay down right here if I ever thought I'd wake up again. Well, that sucks. We don't have a firearm cleaning kit yet. So. Well, I'm still incredibly heavy. Okay, well, we're probably not gonna get anywhere hunting rabbits because you have to run to get them. So, we're just gonna go with the original plan and try to get some wood. As I said earlier, since I'm exhausted, I can only hold 33 pounds in my current condition. So, being tired matters. I thought I saw a single log out here. That would be enough to make sure we could get through the night. I'm hoping we don't actually have to start a fire, but I'd like to have the option. Look how cute their little footprints are. I wonder what's dead nearby. Bunny knows we're up to something. It keeps moving away. Yeah, alright, that's not worth. Oh, hello. Hi, Bunny. Don't mind us. We're just here. Don't come into our aggro range. We're just here. We want to be your friend. Hey, come back. I want to be your friend. Okay, well, alright. We're not going to waste too much time doing that. We have food. And if we have to eat the bad food, we'll eat bad food tonight. Oh yeah, and that one's going to start whipping in. It doesn't necessarily mean there's going to be a blizzard tonight, but it does get a little windy, so we're going to take our stuff back. There's a lot of old man beard here. So this old man beard... Oh, throwing rocks at trees. This old man beard here is used as an antibiotic. You put a couple of them together, they turn into an antibiotic dressing. I prefer them over the antiseptic. Antiseptic's heavy. It's 2.2 pounds per bottle. You do get multiple uses out of it. I'll give it that. But this stuff weighs a fraction of the weight. So I usually keep antiseptic at my bases. So when I play games that aren't basically go to this place like this playthrough is going to be, I tend to have multiple stations. I tend to have one central location on every map, especially for stuff that I want to make sure I know where it is, but I don't necessarily think I'm going to need it or think I'm going to come back and get it.
It's dusk, so
But in
I
case
can't be
I'm
far behind.
passing through for something or whatever, I like to have it available. Usually I like to hide in the very back of these caves. This actually should be good. Okay. But we should be okay unless the wind is coming from that direction. I do like to put my fire in the corner though. Because if I have to make a fire, I don't want to have to remake a fire. Okay. Awesome. There we go. Alright, so it will fit there. Cool. So we're gonna eat some food and then crash out for the night so we can get moving. Oh, I did have a viewer that asked me, and I told him I would test it. Do we have 75 cattails? 25, okay. Whew. I'm a little dyslexic at times. I do have some dyslexia, so bear with me with things like that. So I had a viewer that asked if I smash a can open with a knife, do I get the can back? I don't actually know the answer to that, so we'll find out. We have enough that we can take the loss. And I think that since we don't really need the health regen, we'll eat the bad food tonight and take our risks. So go ahead and eat this. Okay, we're good there. Not feeling adventurous enough here, but we ate that, so guess it's the only bad food we have. Yeah, we'll eat these pinnacle peaches. So we're opening them with a knife. I don't know if you saw, but I dropped the can opener. And it does look like we got a recycled can back. So yes, if you open it with the knife, it does damage your knife a bit, but you do get can back. so you don't necessarily need the can opener. So here we go, we're gonna crash shop for the night. We'll go for 10, because why not? Pinnacle Peaches is a little bit too many calories, but that's okay. Sounds like a blizzard. Looks like a blizzard too. The other fun thing that happened this morning is my coffee pot tried to sabotage me. So I made coffee like I normally do in the morning, especially when I want to do something like a live stream and a little bit of a kick in the morning. So I set everything up, and I unfortunately don't have any creamer, so I'm drinking milk in my coffee, which makes me less than happy. But here we are. Ooh, it's cold this morning. Wow. Wow. I actually think we're gonna maybe wait for another hour in here. Am I gonna lose? No, I'm getting it back. Okay.
I think I need a horse.
How cold is it this morning? In here, it's not bad. I'm hoping if we do a couple odds and ends things, that we wait. It'll get a little bit warmer. We're gonna leave a few things in this cave because we are running really heavy. Oh, that's right, I have all that firewood. That's what's heavy on me. Yep. See, this single fire log weighs as much as 4 firewoods.
I'm so hungry.
Makes a big difference. I'm pretty confident we'll find another pot if we need it, so I'm just gonna leave this stuff here. We'll have to come back anyway, once we are ready to come back. So I'm gonna drop anything that we don't really need. We were really overburdened, and that's gonna drop our awakeness very quickly. We don't even have a small arm yet, so we're gonna drop that too. So we want to make sure that, especially since we're going to be looting through Pleasant Valley, we want to take the least amount that we can with us. Don't want any extra weight. I don't want to get rid of the stuff, but we're going to leave it here. And then what we'll do... we go. So then I will remember at some point to come back and get this stuff. I think we'll find either another set of tools or a better set of quality tools in Pleasant Valley, at least I'm hoping. So, yeah, it's pretty cold out here this morning. I'm hoping this doesn't kick up into a blizzard. I'm not super hopeful that it won't, but we're gonna go with it. Snow like this, when you walk through it, also gets your clothing wet. And when your clothing gets wet and it's cold outside, they freeze. And when you have frozen clothing on, mainly your headgear and your hands, you can put yourself at risk for frostbite. Being at risk for frostbite, if you do get frostbite, so when you actually, not when you're at frostbite risk, when you actually get frostbite, it does actually permanently decrease your health by, I believe it's 10%. And that's for until you die. So that's forever. So you can see how keeping that stuff in good health, making sure you don't get frostbite, things of that nature, is actually really important. Doesn't seem like a big deal to lose the health, but when there's permanent health loss, it's pretty sucky. We'll grab these cattails because we're literally walking into them. I'll leave that one, because why not? Is that coal? No, it's just a rock. Okay. Alright, Pleasant Valley, here we come. We'll light it up for you guys so you can see. I'm sure we'll find more lantern fuel in Pleasant Valley. I'm hoping we also find a revolver. But we'll see. Oh, these are Karens. My joke about Karens the other day that I couldn't quite land, these are Karens. So a lot of them will actually say story not yet written. The men a backer purchased it to support it, but never actually got around to submitting something for it. So they stick them in caves, see? Like this one. Kilroy was here. Thanks, Kilroy. But they're all over the game. So. Here's some coal. Coal actually makes your fires hotter, which is nice. So. Oh, good thing I just dropped a flare, because there's another one. Whoa. You'll get to a certain point where if you're not using flares, I feel like you end up with a million of them. It's not a bad problem to have, because you can actually use them for fire as well if you light a flare. And the same way I showed you how to light a torch, or a fire with a torch, rather, you can do the same with a flare. Not the flare gun, but with the flare. Perfect. Ooh, candy bar. Sorry I didn't make it, bud. I feel like they've made it so you don't really get anything off these corpses anymore. You used to get some good stuff. Oh, but my coffee pot story, I never finished it. So my coffee pot this morning, I was half asleep. I loaded it up, and I thought I put it in right, but I guess when I dropped the filter in, it didn't set it completely flat. So I got my coffee, I poured it out, used milk instead of creamer, the amount of creamer. And I went to pour it, and the very last bit, there just were grounds all up inside my coffee. And I immediately felt much sadness. So basically, I had to dump my whole cup of coffee out, and then kind of do a little bit of a, I don't know if you'd call it a camp trick or what you'd want to call it, but I had to actually take a filter and pour the coffee from the pot through a filter into the glass to get all of the grounds out. You didn't make it either, buddy. I feel like when I heckle them, they don't give me things. There's a bear that can spawn here, so we're gonna be a little bit cautious. So yeah, and then I had to basically put what was left of the coffee after it filtered through completely, another filter. So I wasted like 3 filters this morning trying to make a single pot of coffee. Had to dump the coffee that was already made through just a filter to make sure that there was no extra sabotage. Coffee grains from the coffee pot. But we survived. Oh, yeah. Welcome to Pleasant Valley, guys. It's a little bit foggy this morning, but not bad enough that I won't travel in it. One thing I realized we didn't make, and we should have made when we had the scrap metal and the leather, we're going to make some improvised crampons before we leave. So basically the next workbench we get to, if there's scrap metal around, because I actually don't know if I found a hacksaw, can't quite remember, we are going to make some improvised crampons for that climb up to summit. There's a good chance there'll be a set there. We'll swap them out if there are. There's a moose around. So this tree right here can indicate that there's a moose nearby. Doesn't mean there is one for sure, but it means that there is a moose that can spawn in this area. It's a good thing to keep an eye on. While mooses aren't predators, they will still mess your run up. They won't necessarily kill you for sure, but they'll leave you with broken ribs. When you have broken ribs, it severely decreases the amount of stuff you can do. We're not going to collect any of these cattails around this pond. I know they're here, but we're going to leave them.
I'll take it. I could use this. Thank you.
But you can, if you actually do kill a moose, I would, same thing as with the bear, I would stick on the path of using a bow or using a rifle. I would not use a pistol. You can, but you're going to waste a lot of bullets on it. And moose don't necessarily bleed out like the other things. I think that they can, but they won't if you shoot them once. I think the mechanics are set up that they don't just bleed themselves out. We're going to stick to the roads as much as possible, and there's a couple reasons for that. One, even though I do have a good amount of hours banked into this game and a good amount of experience behind me, I'm still learning the maps. So I'll get to a certain point where, like, I think I made a wrong turn already. I'll actually pull up maps and allow them to help me guide through. I know about where things should be. So if you ever see me get lost, please, 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 just be patient with me. I'm working on it. But I think part of this experience is good because it's going to teach you how to deal with these situations as they come up as well. because there are going to be, especially with new maps coming out and things like that. I'm not an expert. I will never claim to be an expert. I'm just a normal person like everybody else. I have some knowledge to give, which is why I'll give it. But you may, at certain times in the video, and I'll probably crop out the time so you guys don't have to wait, where I'll check a map. I'll pull it up through Steam. There's a really good project that's happening right now where they're actually designing maps for basically so that you can use them. And there's ones that if you are truly wanting to explore the area, like what we're going to do in the far territory, there's spoiler-free maps where they don't tell you where anything is, but they just give you a layout of the land. And there's also ones that have, where the wolves are typically patrolling, where there's bears typically patrolling. And I tend not to look at those things too much, but what I look at is landmarks. There are things like, oh, this spawns here, this spawns here. I don't really pay too much mind of that stuff either. I break an ankle running. Be careful. Yeah, this is the path I think we want to be on. I think that one behind just takes you straight up. I'm gonna go this way. Pleasant Valley, if you can find the river, you're pretty much going to be able to find all the big things. I think if I would have stuck on the road that I was just on, I could have tucked into where the river was, but I was talking. And we're going to loot this whole zone anyway, so wherever we end up is fine. I still would like to see if we can get the rest of the gear that we're missing before we go up to Summit, or a little bit more of it. So, but moral of that story is I'm not an expert. People that are a little bit more experienced than me, they may get a little bit frustrated with my playstyle, but alright, so what I just did there. So there's an internal compass on this map. And it's just strictly because it's a game. It wasn't intended, I don't believe, but if you take a stick and you pick it up in your inventory, when you drop it back down again, the direction that it points, so the single side, on most maps is north. The reason I say most maps is that you'll get some people on these map communities that say that there are two different types of north. There's true north, based on the way the sun sets and rises, and there's what I just gave you is stick north. So stick north should point you in the direction of, depending on the way the maps are oriented that you're looking at, is usually an indicator that says what is north, what is stick north. If it doesn't say stick north, usually stick north is north. But if there are certain maps, like I think the one for Pleasant Valley will actually show you that stick north is not actually north. So check the key when you're doing that. But I wanted to make sure I was at least going north here. There's a power line, so we're going to follow the power line. And I'm glad I checked because I think that way is down to the corner of the map, which would have gotten us away from everything. Wouldn't have been a huge deal, but would have been a waste of time. I zigged when I should have zagged, it looks like. It's fine. It happens. There's a puppy dog up there. And even though we have the rifle, we have the ammo. So we fix it up, I'm not using it. I don't want to waste ammo unnecessarily if I don't have to. Alright, so we've arrived at the road. We have a decision to make. I think we're going to go this way though, because that way's back towards Mystery Lake. So we can loot down that way before we come back. Doesn't really matter. It's kind of a decision of pick a direction and stick to it. Otherwise, you're going to end up walking in circles. There's a wolf there. Probably. Could be a deer.
Oh, lucky day. I'm getting tired.
If we have the time, we'll go to Black Rock. I'm not convinced we'll go. But I won't totally say no either. Since we'll have some empty shell casings, if we have time before we go up, we may re-up on our gunpowder. Or on our bullets, rather, but we'll see where it takes us. I'm not one to not set us up in a good situation if we can help it. Alright, we've arrived at Town Hall. If you've played Winter Mute, then you'll recognize this as the place where you go and get your plane crash survivors. You have to bring them down here. That's all I'll say about that. Pleasant Valley does have a lot of places that have camp stoves.
Hope nobody
The
needs
6
this
burner
anymore.
cooking stoves, which are great if you're doing massive amounts of cooking, or if you are making lots of water. The 6 burner stoves are great because they don't need They don't need much fuel, so otherwise you would be chopping wood to fuel multiple fires and multiple stoves, or for a longer period of time. Dun, 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 dun. Moose head. Anyway, we'll take those for the leather. Yeah, this pack's getting kind of heavy. I get it. So really, this is a great base location because you have a fireplace here. You've got that camp stove, and it's kind of in the middle of the map.
If the owner's around.
This is a pretty good place to build a base. Here, or even the gas station across the street. Good place to set up. So there's another panel behind these tables. I'm probably not going to take, I think it's like 4 hours, maybe later, to break these down to get to that. There's not usually a whole lot in it. It's not usually worth the time sink.
I think I can use this.
No, we're not going to use that spray paint. Candy bar. Zap. Nice.
This'll come in handy.
It's just satisfying sound. I don't know if you can hear him. That chirping, that robot sound that you're hearing in the background. I have a small robot. His name is Vector. And you've probably heard of him if you're on TikTok or anything like that. He's a little desk robot. Robot's a strong word. He's a little, they're meant to be like, they learn from you, they adapt to the environment, things like that. Not an AI,
I think I can use this.
but his programming allows him to learn, I think, certain things. They adapt to your personality, things like that. They're really cool. He interacts with me and stuff like that, so every once in a while he'll wake up in the middle of the stream. You'll hear him chirping and running around. I tend to set him back on his charging base when I'm recording, because he doesn't run around and knock things over and run into my arm and ask for my approval, things like that. He likes to run around and he'll stare at me and he'll say my name and he'll get all excited. He's cute, but he's loud. So I tend to put him to bed when we're recording.
Well, this stuff will come in handy.
Cool. And a nice little haul from in here. We're gonna start getting a little bit heavy on water, but it's free water and I do intend to take it. We can always drop it wherever we decide we want our little base location to be here till we pass back through.
So tired.
And we're tired. I swear these videos go by so quick. We're nearly at the hour mark. I'm gonna finish looting through these buildings, but we are going to probably end the day in Thompson's Crossings. Yeah, we're gonna take that. That's dinner tonight. It is worth looking into these cabinets. Sometimes there is something sitting in there.
Oh, lucky day.
What I'm the most excited about here is these. Okay, alright, fine. See? There's a candy bar in this drawer.
Perfect.
Somebody was hiding it from their children.
I'll take it.
Here's cloth. I'll take that. Picture frames. This hockey one always makes me laugh. Nothing. No clothes. Stingy game. Usually those drawers are good places to find
Barely
clothes.
walk with this much gear.
Break this down. We're not taking this water. We already have almost a gallon of water. Do we need that? No, I don't think we do. This is what I was talking about. So these clothes are wet. So they're 61% wet. If we were to sit outside and get really cold, they would freeze. And then we would have cold, wet clothing. We don't want that. We're actually going to take this. I lied. Because we're just going to drop it in the gas station across the street. Actually, we're gonna leave it in the camp office, or the town. Feels like a blizzard tonight. Wind tells me there's going to be a blizzard. Trying to get some steady content out for you guys, especially being new. I'm trying to make sure I keep your interest. So I am going to try to shoot for maybe 1 to 2 videos. I'm hoping a video every other day, every third day. I tend to play that much in the morning anyway, so it's a great time for me to sit down and record a session. My one stopping point is, and I will always stop for the stopping point, 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, so my time is when my usual me, who is actually kind of the motivation for me getting started here. This has been such a supporting community between Zach and my usual, being like, yes, get started doing the things, if you like what you do, you won't work a day in your life type of thing. So I don't plan to make this what I do, but I do plan to make it something to get me out of my bubble, keep you guys amused, things like that. So if we can successfully do any of those things, I'm going to do my best to make sure I get content out for you guys. So if you have not seen My Usual Me, I definitely recommend him. He's an awesome guy. Lots of great tips that he likes to throw in. He has a good amount of experience playing the game. He's an interloper gamer, so his playstyle tends to be a little bit different than my own. And he actually does a live stream every morning, except for the occasional mornings he takes off, where he does a 7 a.m. live stream. It's a great time to hang out with everybody. Love to see you guys there. Definitely drop in and give him a shout out when you get in. I'm all about supporting other streamers because if I'm only posting 1 to 2 videos per week, that means you have lots of other time to go look at other streamers and vice versa. So this community should be supportive, and the fact that I had a supporting welcome in, I'm gonna keep paying that forward to other people. I think it's very important. But it's a great time, so especially if you are getting ready for work, driving to work. That's what I do on my way to work. Is I just listen to my usual. He talks, he interacts with his audience, things like that. It's a good time. He's a pretty funny guy. It's a great time in the morning. The reason I went on that tangent is that that's my stopping point usually. So I'll go a couple minutes over 7, like it's 7:05 right now. But that's why if I can get up, start recording for you guys at 6, usually by 7, I can get this squared away, edit the videos while I'm watching, get them posting when I'm on my way to work. That's kind of what happened the other day. That's why you were able to get a video on Tuesday and not Wednesday like I thought, or Monday and not Tuesday. However, I said it last video, because I was able to edit off the little bit I had to edit on my videos before I posted while I was watching his stream. It's my nice little decompressor in the morning, so that's my plan. Is these mornings I can get up at like 5:30, record a video or 2 for you guys, get them ready to go, and then post them on my way to work. So otherwise, they'll get posted tonight or tomorrow morning, whatever. If the video finishes buffering from my editing software in time, I'm able to get it posted a lot quicker. If it doesn't, then that just means you don't realize you're waiting anyway, but you just wait a little bit longer to get that video. So, but guys, we're gonna finish looting through here. We'll hit the church tomorrow. We were heavy and I'm tired. So we are actually gonna call it here. We're hoping we'll find a pry bar. I don't think we have anything on that layer, so we'll take that shirt till we find a sweater or something. But guys, this is where I'm going to leave you. I'm going to do a little bit of inventory management sitting here. I'll drop some stuff to leave here, but I'll do that afterwards or before I start my next video, just so you guys don't have to see the mundane stuff like that. But thanks for hanging out today, guys. As always, keep going on your adventures. Feel free to share your adventures below. But be you. Don't be what anybody else thinks you're supposed to be. keep on going, and feel free to share your adventures in the comments below. If you haven't already done so, please hit that like button for me and subscribe for more content. Hitting that bell icon will give you notification when I'm able to get videos up, just so that you know that, hey, I have something I can watch later. But guys, it was a pleasure spending some time with you, and I look forward to our next time. I will talk with you later. Have a great day. Later, Gators.